So this video is obviously about me, you feel what I'm saying? When I said he can get any girl, I meant me, cause I'm him for real. Nah, but seriously, this story takes place a long time ago in a place far, far away in the splat dab middle of Texas at this church camp I was going to for the summer. So at this beautiful camp where we got to dance and sing and learn about Jesus, during my time there I made plenty of friends that I would only talk to during the week I went there, then make plans to talk to them outside of the camp, just to never talk to them again, but just make awkward eye contact the next year I went to camp. Anyway, my first year I went to this camp, I had this one cabin mate, and let's name him Jaden. Now Jaden was what I would like to call max prestige light skin. Brody had the I'm half black curly hair with the shiny peanut butter skin, not a pimple or a scar on it. And for a 13-year-old, that's crazy, even though my skin has always been clear. But not only was bro maxed out stats at the young age of 13, he was like the chillest, most nonchalant person I've ever met. Like bro radiated I could care less energy. Like he always had this almost I'm tired and want to go to sleep but I'm happy look on his face. And like I said, really chill dude. But the most important thing about him was he's a master of the rizz arts. He was a rizzard. And not by choice. So we're at this baseball field playing kickball, which is our third station of the day at this camp. And we do all these activities every day all over the camp, which went from throwing tomahawks, baby axes at these wood logs, to playing paintball. And today's was the pool, which in itself is a story for another day. The swing, which was this huge rope attached to a roof of this tiny cabin with no walls, only pillars. And the floor was nothing but those blue mats of those gymnastics people be jumping on. And the point of the swing was to basically jump on this rope and just swing around. It looked more fun looking back at it as a teenager. But we were playing kickball and there's 3 other cabins that are playing with us, 1 boy cabin and 2 girl cabins. And while our team, which we named, and I use we in the most vague tone because it's a collective group of kids who took leadership while me and everyone else didn't care and was just standing on the sidelines, they named it kickfall. Sounded pretty stupid then, sounded pretty stupid now. Anyway, while we were changing to go out onto the field, after I had to sit and watch my teammates suck at kicking a ball, I was walking with Jaden out the dugout, and while we were walking, this group of girls were walking in our direction. I wasn't really paying attention. I was trying to figure out how to go D1 on this kickball field to save my team, you feel me? And Jaden was just being Jaden. And then I heard someone go, "Excuse me." I snap out of game mode to see 4 girls standing in front of us, and this blonde one, which will be her name, I'm not sorry, she asked Jaden for his number, which to me was very odd, probably due to the fact that phones weren't allowed here. So what was she thinking? He'll give her his number so they can talk after camp? So after Jaden told her his number and said they can talk after dinner outside the dining hall, we walked away and I turned around just watching as these girls all giggle and laugh, and I was like, anyway. Cut to 2 days later. I have no clue if Jaden talked to the blonde girl. I never asked because I probably forgot. Anyway, after breakfast, which was amazing because this was the first time I ever had churros, and I got to understand what those bundles of cinnamon and sugar could do to a man. We went to our first station, which was rock climbing for the day, and after I went up and down the wall and had my fun, I was sitting down at this picnic table with Jade and a couple of our other cabin mates and some NPCs, and we're all just chilling, talking, waiting to switch to our next station, which was kayaking in this huge lake, which is another story that's gonna get its own video. But we were sitting there talking about Fortnite probably, and a group of girls walked up to us. They all started talking to each other, and I saw the blonde girl from a few days ago, and she walked up to Jaden, who was right next to me, and she grabs bro's hand and just pulls him away. And I'm just sitting there watching as she walks him over to another group of girls, and I watch as the blonde girl holds his hand, and they're all talking to each other, and then I lost interest in watching them after about 5 seconds. So I just turned around and started talking to my cabin mates and random people. Then about 15 minutes later, when the bell rang that told us to switch to our next station, Jaden walked up behind me while I was walking back to the cabin to change clothes for the kayaking, and told me that the blonde girl basically showed him off to her friends and said they were dating for some reason. And Jaden, being the nonchalant dude he was, he didn't say a word nor care, just kind of went along with it. And I was like, bro, living the damn dream for real. But let's skip to the second to last day of camp. We had this kind of free roam station because our counselor had to help out with us setting up this huge game of cops and robbers we would play later that day. But we were supposed to be playing volleyball in the 140-degree Texas summer weather. But Jaden, me, and a few others thought, how about we rather not burn our feet off in the sand that absorbed about a atomic bomb load of heat energy from the sun? But we were inside the dining hall by the bathrooms getting water, but we weren't really. We were just chilling in the AC, waiting as long as we can until a counselor found us and sent us back to our station. But in the meantime, while we talked and got to take the gracious AC in for as long as we could, then this group of girls walked into the side door and were getting water, but probably were doing exactly what we were doing. And one of the girls, who we'll name Kayla, went, "OMG, hi, Jaden," and got like all up in his face, which in my opinion isn't a bad thing, you feel me? But she was talking to him, and since I was right next to them, and Kayla seemed to be a very all-around loud person, I learned that they met when the blonde girl introduced him to her the other day at the rock climbing wall. While Kayla was rambling on about other stuff, my brain kind of tuned it out, only heard the important details. So while there was about 15 of us now in this tiny hallway with a glass door that led to the outside on one end, and the other end an opening up into the dining hall, a counselor eventually saw us and walked over, and we all had to clear out. And while I was leaving out the building to head back to the stove we call the volleyball court, I saw Jaden walking in a different direction with a different girl, and I was like, huh? Because he was just talking to Kayla maybe 3 minutes ago, and now he's with somebody else? So I was like, whatever, and I went back to wandering around with my cabin mate pretty much, because we still didn't have a counselor, and we were adventurous children. So we made our way over to the pool to mess with people, and we couldn't go inside the pool, but we could sit outside inside the fence and just be menaces. So while walking up to the pool, I see Jaden inside the pool area somehow, with Kayla, the girl I saw him walking with earlier, and the blonde girl, and they were all sitting by the edge of the pool. Now I was baffled, like, number one, nice one Jaden, number two, how in the world did bro get in there? I'm guessing they had the pool station and he got in because he was with them, so they thought he also had the station. So I see Jaden, and I quickly alerted my cabin mates, and we all started shouting Jaden for some reason, and him and all the shorties looked over at us, and before we can even get out a response, one of the lifeguards, which was a counselor, told us to head back to our station, and that's what we did. But by the time we got there, the bell rang to switch stations, and I was like, thank God, I was trying to avoid that volleyball pit at all costs. So I later met back up with Jaden on our way to our next station, which was in the woods, and we had to cross this scary looking bridge. Like, it was made out of old looking wood and is held together by rope and string. Looked straight out of a horror movie. But if you fell, you'd be fine. It was like a 5 feet drop into water and grass. But while we were crossing it, I heard behind me, Jaden, can I hold your arm? I'm scared. I whipped my head back so fast, bro. I see an actual baddie holding on to Jaden while they walk through the bridge. And I get to the other side to wait for them, mostly trying to talk to this baddie, but also I know damn well that wasn't gonna happen. I was not gonna say a word. I was just gonna try to talk to Jaden. But they got over to the other side and we were just walking down this path in the forest. I was there walking next to Jaden while this girl and him talked, contemplating how I'm gonna kidnap this man and tell him to teach me the ways. Like, bro probably had a spell book in his back pocket for all I knew. And there were many more situations where girls got out of their way to either talk to Jaden or try to flirt with him, basically making the first move, which for normal people don't be happening. But that's the video. I'ma head out, go study the dark holes, I can become a rizzler like Jaden. Go follow my Instagram, please. I will send you 15 Robux. Go follow it right now.